All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Welcome back to another edition of Bajillion. Good morning, Vietnam. No, not Vietnam. Good morning, America. Today is April 8th, 2025. The time is 7:29 a.m. And we're going to put some music on and we're going to get right to it, y'all. Y'all hold tight. I'll be back in a second. Hold tight. All right. Just had to move around and make sure y'all could see me. Let's get back to the story at hand. Turn this down a little bit too. A little bit more. Okay. I'm gonna take me a sip of coffee. Almost out. Oh Lord, all the sugar was at the bottom of the cup. Some thought it was the medication that had caused her mental decline. What once gave her enough vigor to perform now made her lethargic, too sleepy and worn out to function during the day. One prescription had to be countered by another, and a new prescription had to be countered by some other experimental pill or shot. Suge would oftentimes awaken at night to find his mother wandering aimlessly throughout the house. He and his daughter Penny were constantly going back and forth trying to keep up with the latest cure for what was thought to be severe depression. Why don't we say dementia? I don't know. Though he was at the party having a good time, his thoughts were on the lady. Let me turn this down a little bit. That second song has a lot of bounce to it. And if you want any beats, go to my description box. These beats are by my oldest son, Ashaki. His email is in the description box, Ashaki's tracks at gmail.com. Excuse me. Though he was at the party, having a good time, his thoughts were on the lady he most adored, and now a troubled son who'd come back in town for the worst of reasons. There was also the notion that his son may have been the cause of his mother's ills. Okay, I need to. Y'all, goodness gracious, man. Boy. This is writing, y'all. It ain't always fun. Okay. There was also the notion that his son may have been the cause of his mother's ills. His daughter-in-law, a woman who never saw her life turning out the way it did, had definitely fallen victim to his son's narcissistic ways. Left with two children, she could not have predicted the spinning meteor of manipulation that came from a man she still loved. I love writing, I'll tell you, I do. I love it. What no one knew that night is that things were about to take a turn for the very worst. No one but the spirit thing. The one there at the picnic table, invisible to the naked eye, but so present. Sorry about that. Let's see where I was. Where was I? What no one knew that night is that things were about to take a turn for the very worst. No one but the spirit thing. The one there at the picnic table, invisible to the naked eye, but so present and patiently sitting by Jacob's side. Are you sure? Asked Henry as he took only a sip of his wife's lemonade. Yeah, this is it. I know my stuff, Hank, Suge replied. Hell, just look around, he added, licking his lips to get a better taste. Licking his lips to get a better taste, Henry began scanning the room, surveying those at the party. As the taste grew more familiar, what he saw in those few seconds was enough to convince him that the drink in the punch bowl was for sure mixed with the concoction Suge had made for his son to take back to New Jersey. As the music and lights continued, he saw without a doubt evidence of Suge's claim. Wow. One of the world's most worldly songs played, Juveniles, Back That Thing Up. Mr. and Mrs. Albertson were dancing along on beat as though they were in their 20s at their first Freaknik. It looked as though they'd heard and danced to the song hundreds of times in private. Having her husband pinned in the corner, Mrs. Albertson was following Juvie's instructions to the T. To a T. She was backing that thing up until she couldn't back it up any further. Aside to those two having the time of their lives, Suge and Henry were having trouble concentrating on the conversation, trying to figure out how the substance was added to the bowl. Suddenly Lupe walked over to the two men. Hey guys, he said with an uncanny smile. Is this? The man pointed to his cup. Yeah, we think so, Henry confirmed. Great idea, he said before pulling Maria on the dance floor. Together, the two danced their way next to the Albertsons and seemed to challenge the religious couple to a back that thing up contest. Before long, someone turned the music up louder and the party took off like an MX missile. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do, Hank? I mean, this is strong stuff. What if... Suge paused. Suge paused. While Suge stood there, contemplating whatever he was thinking. While Suge stood there in deep thought. Did I write deep thought before? Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. In deep thought, Henry watched. What? Henry asked. The man's mind had gone back to his... What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? I mean, this is strong stuff. What if... Suge paused. I gotta sneeze. Thank you, if anyone said God bless you, even though you didn't hear me, but I did sneeze twice. What are we gonna do? I mean, this is strong stuff. What if... Suge paused. While Suge stood there in deep thought, Henry watched. What? Henry asked. What if what? getting all these messages. What's going on? It's early in the morning for all these messages. The man's mind had gone back to his birthday wish and the alligator at the pond. It had been the most bizarre thing he'd ever witnessed. His wish had been to simply see the thing again. That day, Suge decided to check on his liquor still before fishing. Walking down the old trail was like any other day. Suge had just finished feeding his worms. Excuse me. He just finished turning a pile of compost and feeding his worms. And decided to use a few for bait. Okay, I got it. He and Jacob. Why not Jacob and Frederick Sr.? Because I meant Frederick Jr. Freddie. Because Freddie is a little chubby little greedy thing that hangs around his grandmother and his mom. He prefers to hang around them. Every now and then he helps out Suge, but most of the time it's Jacob. Most of the time it's Jacob over helping out for a few dollars. He and Jacob had just finished turning a pile of compost and feeding his worms. And being that he didn't want to expose the still to the child, he decided to use a few bait. Okay. Being that he didn't want to expose the still to the child, okay. Okay. He and Jacob had just finished turning a pile of compost and feeding his worms. The man would oftentimes give Jacob and Freddie a $5 bill for helping him. More so than not, Jacob would be the only one to receive the money due to Freddie's lack of interest in farm work and his need to and his preference to constantly be next to his mother or grandmother. That day should decided to use a few red wigglers for bait, being that he didn't want to expose the still to the child. He made no mention of going fishing. Okay. I think we got something here, y'all. It doesn't sound like it right now, but I can't explain it. I've been trying to get this. I've been trying to implement this portion into the story forever. So I gotta save this and email myself. So you know what I mean. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I've lost work several times. I've lost 20 pages of work before. I've lost chapters before because I didn't save it and email myself. You know what I mean? When you email yourself, if something happens, your computer crash, I got to knock on wood, whatever happens, at least you have the email. So you can always go back to the email. I'm like, oh, I got it right here. So I got to email myself today. Being that he didn't want to expose the still, let's say liquor still, because some people are gonna be like, the still, what's that? Even though I already mentioned liquor still a few times, and I'm not calling anybody's, I can't even spell liquor still, so I can't call anybody slow or dumb. All right, so now we're gonna have Jacob come in. Why do we always have to turn this stuff? I mean, he's 10, so a 10-year-old can turn compost. Okay, it's been 20 minutes, y'all. This is going to be a short one today. But we got something going here because I've been trying to implement this, and you guys have no idea what I'm talking about. You have no idea what I'm talking about. Right now, if you've been watching these videos, like, you know, every now and then you might watch 2 or 3 minutes, maybe a minute, maybe 30 seconds. I don't know. You don't know exactly. It's no way of you knowing what I have in my head. If you knew what I had in my head, then I wouldn't have to even write the book. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know everything that I have in my head. I just have these concepts. Sorry, I even said concepts. I have no, I don't have an actual plan. I do, but this is not healthcare, and this is not a whole country that I'm talking about here. So, you know, I'm referring to Donald Trump and his concepts, and his tariffs, and his I'm almost tempted to vent about Donald Trump right now, but I'm not. That's not why we're here. So, anyways, thank y'all for stopping by, man. No, I gotta write a little bit more. Why do we always have to turn this compost? Why do we always have to turn this stuff as chicken before tossing a pile of compost? This is gonna be long. Well, it's gonna be pretty long. There's a smell of animal. Feces, yeah. And urine. Excuse me. All right, y'all know I can't spell now, so don't trip. Come on now, I see y'all. He can't spell. Easy. Siri, what sound does chickens make? Yes, it does.
They love energy. They love energy. They love energy. They love energy.
What? I really need to get out of here. Do chickens make? Well, I need to put my glasses on because I can't even see what I'm writing. Do chickens make? I want to see it written out. Cluck. Oh, goodness gracious, man. And chickens clucked. As the smell of animal feces and urine wafted through the air, and chickens clucked. Wow. Ducks quacked. Quacked. So yeah, let's go ahead. We gonna make this black. Okay. It's gonna be a lot of no, I won't say that. I was gonna say it's gonna be a lot of inconsistencies, but I'm not gonna do that to myself. But we're going to start it back off. We're going to start it off here. No. We're going to start it off right here. I'm going to start right here. Alright. So we're going to make this green. And, what in the world is this? Oh, I know. Y'all can't see it, but anyways, we're going to start right off there. And this is a scene that I've been wanting to implement for the longest. It took me 63 pages to get here, but that's okay. I'll drop some breadcrumbs about this scene leading up to this scene early on. So now I got it figured out that, you know, this relates to the title. This scene here relates directly to the title, Bajillion. I told you this before. Bajillion refers to the bajillion microorganisms in compost, the bajillion worms in vermicompost. That's where I'm going with this. Excuse me. Anyways, we'll pick it back up here. This is an important scene. And like I said, I'm going to drop breadcrumbs that leads up to the scene, okay? And yeah, so we'll leave that red. This right here is I'm gonna make this black again. Well, anyways. It's a lot of stop and go, y'all. That's writing. And I can actually understand why people wouldn't want to watch this process. This is not something fun to watch, but I'm not really, if this time next year, sometimes you got to speak things in. If this time next year I come here and look at this video, April 8, 2026, and I have 200,000 views on this video, that would be a blessing. That would be a blessing. If I come back next year and I have 20 views, that's a blessing. Either way, I'm doing this because I'm speaking the story out loud. That's helping me. I'm realizing now. Plus, one day when I, make the audio book, this book and my other 4 novels, it'll be an easier process because I'm developing this skill. I'm developing the skill of reading out loud and getting down characters and all that stuff. That's the whole point of this. That's more important than the 200,000 views now. 200,000 views, if I'm monetized, 200,000 views, and they're watching the whole thing, I don't even know what that is. That's like, I think about $5,000-$6,000 per video, I think. I don't even know, 6,000, 7,000. I don't know. I guess we'll see next year. Anyways, y'all be blessed. This is Anthony L. Kelly. That sounded weird. I said Anthony, I guess. Anthony. Hey, just call me Tony. Seriously. Just call me Tony. No, I'm joking. You can't call me Tony. Some people do call me Tony. Or, Antonio. Y'all be blessed, man. Hit that like. Leave a message. All that good stuff. Till next time. I'm out.